And it makes life very difficult for those dealing with products because the incomes they earn, all right, are 10 to 20 times or even 100 times much faster. But I would say the 99.9% of them are all con game or Ponzi scheme. But unfortunately, even some of them, they know it's a money game, they still indulge in it, all right? And that's a sad part. Although I like money, but if money doesn't come clean, that is going to hurt somebody, this is something I will not do. I spent 35 years already working very hard, started at the age of 23, and today I'm 59, spent 35 years, and I understand the industry very, very well, all right? So when I came to know about this in December, I saw that was the first time I see something that I never seen before, and I tell the person who introduced me, I told him, this could be one of the biggest company, all right, even bigger Amway if you're not careful. I just say that, but I dare not get involved in it. But I just try to invest 5,000, and I just watch it. At that time, I was still a regional director for a company called Zija. I don't know anyone heard of Zija America. All right, it's a pretty new company here, but it's in the United States already 8 years. And he was my ex-boss in a company called Enrich. Anybody heard of Enrich? Heard of Unicity? Well, he's the owner of that company, and he built a new company called Zija, and he wanted me to help him to open up the entire Asia region. So actually, I was on the verge of retirement, but since he asked me, okay, I try to help him to build up this Asian regions as a region director. When I saw UFUN at that time, I just invest, I dare not do. Okay, but I was not so sure, although I like what I see. It was sometime in March the 16th, I saw what they did. There was an event that held, a ceremony that was held in Bangkok here to sign the first, all right, payment, all right, as a collateral to the U token. Every U token they issue out there as a collateral, 22%, all right, and that was to put into a trust fund that is controlled and looked after by a trustee. Then I realized these people are serious and they are real, and I believe that the digital currency will happen. And this is happening in my lifetime. And I said, I'm not going to miss this. And I decided to see who are the bosses are, because in my 35 years in this industry, I always train my people, if you want to get involved in any network marketing company, it's not just a product that you make your judgment on, your decision on, or based on the marketing plan that you join the company. Because every MLM company out there, they have a good product, so how many can you join them? Marketing plan, there's no perfect marketing plan, because some people like the binary, some people like the star step, some people like the uni-level, so there's no such as perfect plan. So most important thing, you judge a company, first of all, you look at who the boss is. Trading. Is this boss got any integrity? If he got the integrity, does he have the experience? If he has the experience, does he have the financial strength, all right, to bring this company up? So when I was looking at this UFUN, the first thing I want to know who the boss is. Some of the bosses knew me, but I don't know them, because when I was doing MLM, they were still working. They were still very, very young. But they know me because they know who I am. So immediately they asked me, can they like to invite me into their management? But I kind of turned them down. It's because I'm coming to the time of retirement, 35 years, I'm very tired, all right? But I thought that UFUN is something that, a trend that I do not want to miss it, and I can do it at leisure, and I want to quit the management, okay? And they've been asking me many times, because it's very hard, especially in my country, Malaysia, for example, it's very hard for you to find an English educated who is involved in MLM, all right, who have 20, 30, 40 experience in the, in the distributor level, as a leader level, and also in the management level. It's hard to find. And because right now that UFUN have now started to expand into the Western world, all right, they asked me to help them. frankly speaking, if it were to 5-10 years ago, I have no question in joining them straight away. But I keep refusing is because, I'm not short of money. In the last 35 years, if I don't do, I can live very comfortably. I can buy what I like to buy. I can enjoy what I enjoy. So money was no longer my motivation. Why I agreed finally. Why I agreed to take up this job finally because of a couple of reasons. Number one, Adapto, Daniel, is a tremendous man. All right, he's a man with integrity because it was through him that I kept watching. All right, so in the last 6 to 8 months, I have a chance to be close to him. All right, and I sit in some of the meetings, and I realized that this is a man of action. All right, he works very hard. So I felt that now the Western market is open. I felt that I like to help him. And on top of that, I like to be part of history. Because I know UFUN will be in the history in the making. Because digital currency like UToken is not only, just an ordinary digital currency. All right? It's actually, you can consider an Asian coin. Do you know that? The biggest right now you're talking about, everybody knows, is the Bitcoin. But that in Asia, the strongest, the biggest right now is UToken. It has spread to 75 countries now, and by the end of this year, it's probably more than 100 over countries. Next year, it'll be probably the whole world will have people having UToken. And it will outbeat Bitcoin with no problem because Bitcoin is very limited. It's limited to, if I'm not wrong, it's limited to only 21 million coin and they will stop issuing. How can that be a digital currency with only 21 million coin? Right? It's not enough. So at the rate UToken is going, it's going to be the biggest coin. And there's no doubt about it. Okay. And for that, I decided to take up this position, and I'm asked to concentrate more right now on the Western market, in Europe, right, to America, and so on. All right, you'll be seeing me traveling there to help some of you guys. All right, will it be great?
Yeah.
You may not know how lucky you are. You may not know how lucky you are. First of all, I'd like to apologize on behalf of the company. All right, that yesterday that there was no what you call this. All right. But the Korean we have prepared for the Korean because the Korean have been here for the last 4 or 5 meetings. Just talked about the 4 or 5 times already. All right. Last year we have it monthly, so they've been here 4 or 5 times, and their group are getting bigger and bigger. So we know the numbers, so we kind of prepared, all right, this interpretation stuff. But the group here is the first time I see. The last few meetings we only have a few, so they were not prepared for it. So we didn't realize that this time they come, there were so many from so many different countries. All right, they don't know which country, how many. If you have only a couple of them, it's very hard to fix this. If you have only 5 or 6, and then you have 10 here, you have 5 there, it's very hard to fix this. But I'll assure you, the next one will have. All right, because the Western market right now is growing very fast. And the next one, definitely we have this interpretation, all right, translation going on for English. That's the one. All right, English. If the Thai won't be joining. If it's here, the Thai will be joining. If it's happened in Indonesia, then the Thai will join. Then we have the Thai translation. Then what else do we have? All right, because most of them understand English. Okay. Now, all right. So without further ado, all right, my session will start in the later part. I will answer some of the questions. I know many of you have doubt. All right, many of you have doubt. Okay, so we will go through that. Okay. So meanwhile, I'll just introduce myself a little bit here. Okay, you see, I show you this picture is why I show you this picture. Today I'm standing here right now. I'm not an ordinary person. I'm not an ordinary person in the sense I've gone to 2 transplants already. At the age of 19, they already discovered I have this kidney problem. All right? And there was no cure for it. Fortunately or unfortunately, fortunately I was discovered so early. When I needed a job, they need me to go for a health checkup and they discovered a kidney problem. The unfortunate thing, even discovered so early, they can't cure it. A disease that there was no cure and it keeps deteriorating. And at that same time, when I was 19, all right, when I was 19, my dad passed away, so left me with nothing. So it was networking that actually saved my life. I don't have very high education. Everything I learn, everything I teach people today is from my experience. In fact, this was the second dialysis already. All right. So back 28 years ago, my first transplant. All right, as you can see, I appeared in many newspapers because at that time in Malaysia, they have not done any transplant before. I was so poor, I was so broke, I got no money to pay the hospital. All right, so I must leave that. You know, I should say that the chances that I continue to live is not there because I will die, because in that time, the whole of Malaysia at that time, there was only 4 machines, you know. 2 were in the government service and 2 were in the private hospital. In the government sector side, I don't have a chance because I'm not a government servant. So they give priority to government servant. The 2 on the private hospital, I just got no money to pay them. So they dialyzed my kidney, my dialysis took me for only 2 weeks. They decided they would stop it because I got no money to pay. So I was lucky enough that that hospital was on the verge of closing because time was very bad. And the doctor came to me and asked me if you are willing to, we are willing to do operation on you. As far as the money, how much it costs, you can put aside. You can owe the hospital first, but one condition. If the transplant works, can you give us an advertisement? Why? Because if that hospital do the first transplant and become successful, then the hospital become famous, then it can save the hospital. Now let me ask you, if you have money, would you go to the hospital and have no experience in transplant? You don't. Am I correct or not? But when you got no money, do you have a choice? No. See, life is very materialistic. When you got a lot of money, you got a lot of choice. You got little money, you got little choice. When you got no money, you got no choice. All right? And that's how I started. The only job I can find that it does not interview me, he doesn't care who you are, he doesn't care you're young or old, he doesn't care whether you got money or no money, educated or not educated. All right? That's networking. So I work and struggle to my way. So what I'm trying to show you this is that, you know, today, the success that I have, I have to thank God for giving me this, for what I am today. So that's why, do you think that I spent 30 over years doing products? I do products. And I made my money through product, hard sweat and blood. Really blood, I'm telling you. Well, the last 2 years, just before I retire and go into a money game that's going to hurt people, it's not worth it. I don't need it. That's why what I'm trying to tell you here is that, you know, my 35-year experience, what I see in UFUN is a very genuine, all right, something that is so real, something that can make money, all right, genuinely and fast, that you can never find.